It is the 9th day of October 2025. Once again, this is News Tonight. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and Namyomba Dorothy is with us on sign language. First though, let's look at the top stories.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Tonight, President Museveni reassures Ugandans that Uganda is growing and can't be stopped. Uganda celebrates Japan as Osaka Expo 2025 commemorates Independence Day. Politicians from dairy, the country, dependency on foreign affairs. And lastly, Kadaga launches kidney medical camp with Becky's child.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Welcome once again. We are glad you're tuned onto the only channel that tends to educate and entertain you. Now into the news. Uganda has marked 63 years of independence with celebrations held at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala. In his address, President Yoweri Museveni has reflected on the country's turbulent past while projecting a future of economic growth, regional integration and national resilience.
Ugandans have marked the 63rd Independence Day anniversary at the Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala. The day commemorates Uganda's attainment of independence from British colonial rule in 1962. The chief guest, President Yoweri Museveni, reflected on the country's history and challenges before and after independence. He said that until 1972, Uganda suffered from bad governance marked by political instability and extrajudicial killings.
Of Uganda's independence was not smooth. By the 10th anniversary, Uganda was under a vicious dictatorship. And by the 20th anniversary, 1982, the small colonial enclave economy, indeed, between 1971 and 1986, an estimated 800,000 Ugandans were killed extrajudicially here in Uganda. It is from this situation that the NRM rescued Uganda.
Since then, Museveni has projected strong economic growth, boasting that Uganda's economy is expected to grow by 7% driven by oil production.
I am therefore most happy to report to the Ugandans that by June 2026, The economy of Uganda will be USD dollars 66.9 billion in size using the forex method, or US dollars 197.9 billion using the.
He has highlighted key performance indicators over the years. Uganda's population has grown to 46 million. Infant mortality has declined. Life expectancy has risen to 68 years. Industrialization is advancing, and science and technology are thriving.
Fabricating electric vehicles, buses, cars, and other types. Those are all made here by your people, electric cars. Uganda is therefore unstoppable.
President Museveni also called for the East African Community Federation and integration to expand market access and strengthen regional defense.
A federation of the East African states would create a center of gravity for the black race and would create a defense potential that defends East Africa against all and any threats. I believe that it would have capacity to be present in all spheres of strategic security.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commended the Uganda People's Defense Forces for ensuring safety in the country. On this day, he has received the former NRA fighter, that is Colonel Samson Mande, who attempted to rebel against the government. Samson Mande has officially returned from exile.
I behaved like a child. I acted like a child. But now I'm grown. And I know that the magnanimous heart of our leader, our dear leader, President Yoweri Museveni, would accept my change of behavior.
I was commanding the 9,000 strong foreigners fighting force. Later, Mande did a good job as a commander of the 15th Battalion in the siege of Masaka in 1985. And he also did a good job in his subsequent assignments. We welcome him back.
The first recipient is Dr. Byanye Makusaba Rosemary.
23 individuals have been awarded medals in recognition of their service to the nation during the celebrations. This year's Independence Day has been held under the theme 63 Years of Independence, a reason to double our efforts in sustaining a united and progressive nation. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has welcomed back his former NRA comrade, Colonel Samson Mande, who has returned from exile after several years. President Museveni received the returning war veteran during the celebrations to mark Uganda's 63rd independence anniversary.
The Faculty of Medicine.
Even today, I'm happy to welcome back into peaceful Uganda Colonel Samson Mande, that had fled into exile on account of apparently some internal intrigue. While in exile, he tried to engage in some rebel activities. When, however, our cadres contacted him in Sweden, he happily agreed to come back and disconnect himself from the rebel activities.
Brothers and sisters of UPDF, I'm back home. Here in Uganda, I have two homes. The first home is my country. Nobody shall be surprised that I'm here. I'm in my home. The second home is the NRM. I'm a founder member of the NRM. NRM was born by us. It is in me. It will remain in me until death puts us asunder. Somebody who has the Bible should read the 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I thought like a child. I behaved like a child. I acted like a child. But now I'm grown. And I know that the magnanimous heart of our leader, our dear leader, President 9th Museveni, would accept my change of behavior. Thank you very much for accepting me back in my home. I'm home to stay. I'm home to contribute to the development I have had and that I have seen. I went when I was bitter, but now I am better.
I remember Samson Monday in 1979 operating as a volunteer scout for the Task Force Division of the TPDF under Major General Cyrus Mayunga in Mbarara. I was commanding the 9,000 strong foreigner fighting force. Later Monday did a good job as a commander of the 15th Battalion in the siege of Masaka in 1985. And he also did a good job in his subsequent assignments. We welcome him back. Tumwaniriza Mande Okomawo.
Welcome back, Colonel Maiden. Quite a maiden speech there. Now, once the swings on of mixed political loyalties, the Lango region is now painting itself yellow. As the presidential campaigns gather momentum, the ruling National Resistance Movement is gaining remarkable traction across the northern Uganda. Now, this is the story of how and why the ruling party's influence is deepening in the land of Lango.
This is Lira City, the heart of the Lango sub-region in northern Uganda. Here, the rhythm of the campaign season is pulsing louder every day. And these days, it beats to the tune of the ruling National Resistance Movement. For many in Lango, the NRM's message of peace, stability and opportunity has found renewed meaning.
We are happy for the roads, especially the tarmac road from Rekunyu, Apaj, Lira, and going to Puranga. This road is so good because it's connecting Western Uganda with the Lango.
There are people in their life that never handled 100,000 for their first time in life. And they are now handling 1 million, putting it into good use. That means mothers can now feed their children, they can pay fees, little fees for their children.
Once a contested ground between the ruling and opposition parties, Lango's political mood has shifted. The signs are visible, from grassroots mobilization to expanded youth and women development programs.
We bring to you our own son, Mzee Wakazi, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Amewanukelo boru, maybe no kwayo queen.
We want to deepen and intensify our involvement in households because that is where real life is. We want the population of Uganda, the families of Uganda, to be productive, peaceful, and harmonious in their environment and where they stay.
For many young people here, the attraction is not just political, it is practical. Government programs, such as Myoga, have seeded income-generating ventures that link livelihoods directly to national initiatives.
That's why we want to thank the Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for giving us that things. We have received the sewing machine. As per now, we are now opening a tailoring school where we are now taking a youth there. They're doing that training there. That is what we have received from the Minister of Gender and the Joa Kali.
Repeated presidential visits and high-profile projects from hospitals to road networks have given the sub-region a new sense of inclusion and hope.
That's why we insist on Lonyo to be understood separately. And ever since the 60s, I have been working on that.
From the smooth tarmac roads of Apache to the buzzing markets of Dokolo, a transformation is unfolding, one that blends gratitude with expectation and translates into loyalty.
I thank you for all the service that you have given us as people of Kwania. And because of the good service that you have done for the country and for the people of Kwania specifically, I offer my support for you this time.
As a leader of Uganda People Congress, I will commit to ensure you get my vote and the votes of my family and the votes of those who will believe in my statement in order to serve us for the next 5 years.
While the opposition remains hopeful, urging Lango to remember the power of choice, the NRM's deepening roots suggests that this time the story of Lango is being written in yellow ink. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, as we look at independence reactions, President Yoweri Museveni highlighted on indiscipline in budget and revenue collections, hindering progress to the economy. During the 63rd Independence Day celebrations, the president noted that Uganda's economy can grow by $500 billion in the coming years with careful utilization of the available resources. The president also hinted on the challenge of debt burden associated with high interest rates. Now, several opinion makers agree with the president, emphasizing the fight against corruption. Let's hear more in this report.
At the 63rd Independence Day celebrations, President Yoweri Museveni shared moments he described as the well-calculated priorities of the NRM government, which helped the economy to thrive since the struggle from the colonial days.
The economy is growing fast. With this prioritization, we shall soon be able to have enough money to cover more sectors.
How could the economy grow by 7% if the NRM government had not prioritized roads and electricity? This has been the question posed by President Yoweri Museveni.
Where would the electricity have come from? It is the more availability of electricity that is encouraging the rapid industrialization. So, in 2006, when I insisted and we put emphasis on roads and electricity, you see the results. All those factories are flocking here because of the electricity. There is enough electricity for now.
Indiscipline in budget and revenue collection is part of the challenges the president hinted as hindering progress. Museveni is also concerned about the high debt burden, specifically with high interest rates.
The Uganda Revenue Authority needs to solve the issue of revenue losses. They are still collecting only 13 to 14% of GDP in taxes. If they are collecting 20% of GDP in taxes, with the GDP size of 66.9 billion, would be collecting about Uganda shillings 47 trillion. With the careful budgeting talked about above, and without the burden of paying debts that have the interest of Uganda shillings 11.3 trillion per year, would be quite comfortable, plus the robust growth we are already enjoying.
Policymakers agree with the president on the hinted challenges.
Now, the debts we are talking about, the money that we borrowed to build roads, the money that we borrowed to build maybe electricity dams like maybe Karomba, you see the people who engage and started negotiating for that loans, the amount of money they spend. Assuming you were the one, that development was for your family, would you go that far to go for expensive money than going for money which is a bit cheaper?
But they provide solutions.
You know, some indisciplined people that normally put budgets not in the priority sectors. And that is where also we find the challenges. Budgeting should be according to the priorities. The priority which has been assessed from the lower level, and then money is allocated accordingly. So the indisciplined people should be taken to books. And that is some of the things that we should not be silent about it. We must talk about it, advocate.
That's why you are hearing about the parish development model. You are hearing about the 100 million at the parish, so that every Ugandan, especially women, they are on the money economy.
Despite achieving the independence status in 1962, Uganda's economy has since been struggling and operating with deficit budgets. The mistakes of the past leaders, including civil wars and dictatorship, could not champion development. President Yoweri Museveni provides some solutions.
E.g., increasing the amount of coffee, increasing the amount of tea, and so on.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Daniel Mugoya. Now, as we head downtown, as the country celebrates its 63rd independence, city dwellers have called on government to prioritize working on the health and education sectors. These cite how the two sectors are firm pillars and crucial for Uganda's development, with efforts focused on improving quality and access to services.
Celebrating 63 years of independence, city dwellers call remain clear on a number of challenges that they think government should work on. Some have recalled the challenges of poverty and unemployment to inadequate jobs and skilling programs that can benefit the whole population. These call on government to prioritize improving on the health and education sector for the country's development. According to the dwellers, barriers in the two sectors still set back the country.
Nolwalero mukyala wange bwaba genda ku ddwaliro bangamba nina kugenda nze kennyini ne sente ezigula wuzi egenda omutunga in case nga bamusaze.
Mulimu amalwaliro agatalina madagala.
Omuntu ogenda okuzaala mazima ddala ne bamugya katana ne bateekakumala nga tanawona.
Kesire ku miwendo gy'ababaka sente nnyingi ze babawa mpitirivu sibabasaleko at least 10%. Nabo badizeeko eri eggwanga. So kati 10% esobola okugenda nga mu malwaliro.
However, some appreciated government for some achievements coupled with the stability brought in the country.
We have freedom, you can do each and everything that you want. You can set up a business, whether it's on a small scale or on a large scale. It means we really have peace.
One, I'm thankful for the government
that we have freedom of speech in Uganda. We can speak freely, we can talk to people freely, and as long as not you are hurting people, there's that liberty.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Now, as we cross over to Busoga, the Speaker of Parliament and NRM's second National Vice Chairperson, Anita Among, has hit the campaign trail in Busoga sub-region, mobilizing support ahead of President Museveni's visit in November. From infrastructure pledges to youth empowerment, the Speaker is rallying communities behind the ruling party's development agenda.
Speaker of Parliament Anita Among, who also serves as the second National Vice Chairperson female of the National Resistance Movement, has been traversing the Busoga region in a mobilization effort to set the pace for the campaign schedule of NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
And I want you to clap for President Museveni for making him speaker. And for us to show him love, we have to give him all the votes. Are we together?
Among addressed a rally at Irundu Township Primary School in Ibudiope East, Wiyende District, where Moses Magogo is the MP NRM flag bearer.
When you talk about development, you're looking at the roads.
Here, the Speaker pledged the party's support towards infrastructure development, stating that the Kamuli Irundu Kaliro Palisa Road is a priority.
The President has already written a letter in regard to this road, and this road is going to be worked on.
She also welcomed members who had crossed from the National Unity Platform to NRM before proceeding to Bugiri District.
Hallelujah! These people have surrendered, they have come to NRM.
At Busoga Primary School playground, accompanied by Kasambia County Legislator David Kabanda, the Speaker encouraged the youth to form groups so that they can benefit from government livelihood programs.
naye nawulabya amawulire nga gasoma nti Kyagulanyi afuuka pulezidenti wa Uganda agenda kujjawo PDM. Yabyogeredde eno Busoga. Abawagira PDM muwanike emikono pulezidenti abalabe.
Hallelujah! Amen! And on top of the money that the President is going to increase, he is also going to increase 15 million per parish for the leaders, so that those leaders don't touch on your money.
Among further assured residents that they would soon be connected to the national electricity grid.
As I go back today, I am going to ask the Commissioner to write down those places which do not have power, and we shall have power.
She re-echoed government's priority on security as a foundation for creating a conducive working environment and more jobs, further encouraging residents to hold leaders accountable.
We gave money on the roads, 1.3 billion, and that money is supposed to be used for maintaining the roads. If the roads are not worked on, ask your local leadership. That why is this road not worked on? In every parish you have a school. In some county you have a secondary school. You have a health center 3. You have a health center 4. There is no more business of women going to deliver in the bush. That is the government of President.
The Speaker proceeded to Kaliro District, where she addressed another large gathering.
The other time I had the issue of the land here. We are going to handle the issue of that land. Nobody will ever grab your land under Museveni's government.
She revealed that sugarcane farmers will be supported.
We made a law on the sugarcane, and we are going to make sure that you people benefit, you the farmers benefit, the prices will be in favor of the farmers.
According to the campaign roadmap, NRM presidential flag bearer Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be in the Busoga region from the 15th to the 21st of November 2025, beginning with Namutumba district and concluding in Jinja City. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
Well, thank you, Ivan Kaho. Now, it's 30 years since the enactment of the 1995 Constitution. Former Land Minister and veteran politician Daniel Maro Tubo says 8th October should never go unnoticed. He calls it a very significant day that defines constitutionalism in Uganda.
The members of the Constituent Assembly at that time approved or confirmed that the 8th of October of every year shall be a day dedicated to be celebrated as a Constitution Day. So today we are celebrating, it is a Constitution Day. Unfortunately, there is no celebration, there is not much discussion.
Former Lands Minister and veteran politician Daniel Omara Tubu says October 8th should never pass unnoticed. He calls it a very significant day that defines constitutionalism in Uganda.
The people who approved this constitution were not like in 1962, a few selected chiefs and political leaders who went to London and made the constitution there. It was not like the 1967 constitution, which was made by a parliament whose term had expired and they were not elected by the people. This is the best constitution. It was made by the people who were elected. It was one of the freest and fairest elections I've ever experienced in my life in this country.
Atubu believes this day deserves national recognition, saying there should have been a big celebration marking 30 years of the Constitution.
It is not a day of the president. It is not a day of individuals. It is a day to look at the provisions of the Constitution and account and rededicate ourselves to protect, defend it.
Over 3 decades, the document has undergone several amendments, some celebrated, others controversial, sparking debate about whether Uganda has remained true to the spirit of the 1995 Charter. Edi Ulwa, UBC News.
All right, from the horse's mouth, it's time for us to take a short break.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. Wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairo mpia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona. Wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairo mpia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona.
Wefunile simu ya kabode super empia. Olunyumirwe GB 16 ezobwerere. Osobola okutandika ng'osasulako emitwalo 4 n'ekitundu. Olw'endala ozisasula mpola mpola ng'ossaayo sente ezitasuuka siringi 10 buli lunaku. Ate osobola n'okusasula buli wiiki oba buli mwezi. Nga tuli wamu, vibe zaffe teziremesebwa. Enkola n'obukwakkulizo bigobererwa. MTN erungamizibwa ekitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Ochikoze mwana. Shop is stocked, customers ready. Now it's time for takeoff. So offer them more. Become a Wendy agent today and offer mobile money top-ups, customer service support, utility payments, water, power, pay TV. You're nah. Turn your shop into a Wendy agent hub and commissions on every tap and easy access to loans.
That's right. More foot traffic, more sales, more profit, paid instantly. Register free. Call 0800-217-200 or WhatsApp 0707-993-930.
Wendy Wonawoli.
Now, into our next segment, the members of the top leadership of the Forum for Democratic Change, FDC party, have said it is irrelevant for the country to continue celebrating independence when it still heavily depends on foreign aid. During an exclusive interview at Hoima Hotel, FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala-Mafabi and FDC President Patrick Amoriat expressed disappointment that the constitution, which had originally provided a formula for development and governance, has since been adulterated.
As Uganda commemorates its 63rd independence anniversary, some political experts urge that much remains to be desired. The FDC party president Patrick Amoriat says systems that had been put in place by the British have since broken down, emphasizing that after independence, Ugandans expected to be under self-rule.
The abuse of power today cements the fact that we cannot claim to be independent. We've not learned from our colonial masters. We've not learned from good examples across the globe. And, you know, we are probably worse off in as far as democracy is concerned than it was during the colonial period of time.
On economic independence, Amoriat says the country is wallowing in debt due to its heavy dependence on foreign aid, rendering it powerless and not truly independent.
Wallowing in debt, and a debt of 50 trillion shillings is nothing to be proud about. This is what Ugandans owe to people who have lent us money, institutions that have lent us money. And so the per capita debt is about between 2 million and 3 million shillings. And one would wonder how this kind of debt can be paid. Therefore, economically, we lack independence.
Amoriat further notes that 63 years after independence, Uganda's security remains under capture, and the country has not experienced a peaceful transition of power.
The presidents who have come to power are removed through force. We had it from the very beginning, you know, with Milton Obote, the attack on the Lubiri, you know, the fleeing of the Kabaka of Buganda into exile. Then comes Idi Amin, the fleeing of Obote into exile. Then come the other leaders. Not many of them have died in this country. And so we thought that at 63, there should have been a formula developed. And indeed, this was, you know, put in our constitution.
On the other hand, FDC presidential candidate Nathan Nandala-Mafabi says that although some level of self-governance has been achieved, key human rights such as freedom of speech and association remain elusive.
And you discover that even when we have made parties, there are people who feel that this party should not be there, this should not be there, this what. So you can see that our country is still at crossroads.
He adds that the GDP figures cited by the Minister of Finance are misleading, as many thriving businesses are foreign-owned, with profits repatriated to their home countries.
To develop ourselves, and this is because the leadership is the one which has not led to that process. So as we are talking, we can tell us people of Uganda are poor, poverty is high. We are talking of GDP going up, but this GDP does not reflect in the people of Uganda, it reflects somewhere else. And that's why maybe this is an imported GDP.
Mafabi stresses the need to widen the tax base by investing in productive sectors that can generate sustainable domestic revenue.
He makes profits. He has no law which bars him to take his profits. He takes them back to his country. And when he takes them, the profits are going to develop the other country instead of developing the local country. And our argument is that if the profits were really made by locals now, if the local indigenous Ugandans were empowered, then when they make profits, the profits are plowed back.
The 63rd independence anniversary was celebrated under the theme 63 years of independence, a reason to double our efforts in sustaining a united and progressive nation.
As General Mugisha Muntu concluded his campaign in Greater Bushenyi, he expressed a deep concern over the pervasive poverty and dilapidated infrastructure plaguing the Greater Bushenyi. Let's see more from Haruna.
Greater Bushenyi, once a thriving hub for agriculture, now grapples with poor roads, limited economic opportunities, and inadequate access to essential services. As Uganda celebrates 60 years of independence, General Mugisha Muntu reflected on the country's trajectory.
The challenges we've met on the way in the last 63 years, we must celebrate this day because it's a milestone in the life of our country. There have been many mistakes made since that time, many teething challenges that we have met, but in spite of that, at least we are governing ourselves.
He emphasized the need for significant reforms to steer the country in the right direction.
On how do we eliminate that disease that literally started right from '62 when we became independent. Leaders have had challenges because of not being able or not having the discipline to manage their inner emotions of wanting to advance themselves in terms of wealth, inner emotions in wanting to become leaders, because most of them use leadership as a compensation for the hollowness that they have within themselves. Many of them never feel complete unless they are in leadership positions.
Muntu's message for change, eager for a new kind of leadership that prioritizes the people's welfare and development.
We must keep fighting until we get leaders who first are confident, two, who don't have an inferiority complex. Because you see, if a leader does not have an inferiority complex, they will not deceive, manipulate, simply to hang on to power, as if power is what makes them complete. We must understand that, and therefore attract many people who are confident, who are out there. Because right now, as we speak, the majority of the people who are in politics, say out of 10, about 6, 7 are there because of self-advancement.
The retired Major General's campaign is based on improving access to clean water, infrastructure, and raising education standards.
Because those are things that we need to address. Those of us who are vying for power, in the event that trust is put in us as NT and myself as the leader of the country, those are issues that we have to tackle, because roads are not just for cosmetic purposes. A place like Buhweju, which is rich in terms of fertile soils, in terms of the mineral wealth under the ground, in terms of the tea and coffee and bananas which they grow, the moment you have poor roads like they do have, it basically affects you, not only Buhweju, many other areas in this country.
With a vision for transformed Uganda, Muntu's campaign emphasizes the need for value-driven leaders who can address the systematic challenges facing the country and unlock the potential of its people. General Muntu has gained support from Shema, Lubirizi, Rwampara, Buhweju, Mitoma, with a new vision for Uganda focuses transforming the country's political landscape through institutional reforms. General Mugisha Muntu is set to kick off his campaign trail in Masaka in Buganda before heading to other parts of the country. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Now, as we step out of the independence mode, tomorrow is the 10th of October 2025, and we look at the presidential campaign roadmap. Now, candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of the National Resistance Movement will be resting from the campaign. And then candidate Kasibante Robert of the National Peasant Party is expected in Kamwenje and Kitagwenda. Candidate Robert Chagulanyi Sentamo of the National Unity Platform NUP is expected in Nakasongola for his campaign. And then candidate Mugisha Gregory Muntu of the Alliance for National Transformation is expected in Makindye Division. Now, Jonathan Nathan Nandala Mafavi of the Forum for Democratic Change is expected in Amolata and Dokolo. And then Mubaraka Munyagwa of the Common Man's Party will be in Mayuge and Namayingo. Bulira Frank of the Revolutionary People's Party will be resting, while Mabirizi Joseph of the Conservative Party will be resting from the campaigns. And of course, we are geared for the polls 2026. Now, as Uganda marks 63 years of independence, messages of faith, discipline, and hope for the youth echoed across the country. At Namidyango College, celebrations were marked by a prayer of reflection and a call for the young people to stay rooted in God and values that build the nation.
Uganda's oldest A-level school, Namidyango College, joined the rest of the country to commemorate Uganda's 63rd independence anniversary, a day that reminded students of their vital role in shaping the nation's future. Presiding over the celebrations, Monsignor Richard Kayondo, the Vicar General of Lugazi Diocese, urged the youth to stand firm in their faith and serve their country with integrity.
I go back to where I started from, independence. Advice. Self-rule does not mean you don't get piece of advice. Now, I do myself, I don't need any help. No, it is interdependence. We need each other. Even in class, we need each other.
During the Mass, Monsignor Kayondo confirmed several students into the Catholic faith and prayed for Senior 4 and Senior 6 candidates as they prepare for their final exams.
Good soil. And that's what I want of each one of you. But that good soil comes from the Lord. It is watered by the word of the Lord. The chaplain here is doing a good job. The teachers are doing a good job. Listen to them and take heed. Advice.
Educationist Constantine Mpuga, who attended the event, cautioned students against drug and alcohol abuse, emphasizing that discipline and focus remain the foundation for future leaders.
You, as a young man of the college, you have a big challenge to contribute to the continued growth of the country. Here, being here, the main purpose is to help you grow in academics, in matters of the heart, and matters of the hands, the skills. So you are laying a foundation here, not only to contribute to a better life for you as a person in future, as a person, a good future for the people you live with, but you are also supposed to make a good contribution to the growth of the country. This foundation will only be strengthened if you're hardworking in class, so that your head is sharp.
As Uganda celebrates 63 years of independence, the message from Namidyango College remains clear, a call for youth to applaud faith, discipline and patriotism as they carry the nation forward.
Set transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
abayi omanyi mmaze emyaka kumpi ana nga nsiiga langi naye nga langi ya Global gye nkyasinze okwesiga. Ekisooka ekirungi buli musiiza akimanyi nti undercoat wa Global gwe tutandisa. Kati awo oba oyagala okusiga ekizimbe kinyirira obulungi olina okweyongera ng'okozesa langi ya Global. Ntandika ne silk vinyl ng'asiiga munda ate bwe kituuka ku siiringi ne nkozesa Global Matte. Yo wabweru nkozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion etatya mbeera ya budde eduduma era ennyumba yo tesobola kuyubukayubuka. Ng'omugagga akikonamu anti entemagana okukira mukene. Awo omugagga wantwalira ku sayiti ya mugagga munne ne mugagga munne n'antwala ewa mugagga munne kati ono mugagga munnaabwe gye yanzija okukola akalango ng'alaba kiri ku buzuuli.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Coffee Spirit, Simba Gin. Coffee Spirit, Simba Gin. Check out the cup. SMS the code. Wangure virabo. Tulaga manyi. Karuka sita wabuza.
Masabu maji. Masabu maji.
We call him Masavu ne Premier Distilleries. Simply buy Coffee Spirit or Simba Gin. Check under the cap, send the code to 6688 and stand a chance to win border borders, tuk-tuks, cash, airtime, flat screens, mobile phones and a grand prize of 50 million Uganda shillings. This promotion is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Dr. Elisa Mwaka Sabakaki, head of anatomy, explained that the study aims to help participants understand how genes affect drug response and ensure safe communication of pharmacogenomic results.
We have guidelines that govern research and regulations, but they do not mention genetics. Now, that's why we say we need evidence to present it to the policymakers that please, this is what is on ground. Is there a way we can enhance our regulations and guidelines to ensure that even these newer concepts, are brought on board?
Lead researcher Dr. Sylvia Nabukenya highlighted the lack of clear guidance on how to return individual results, raising ethical and legal concerns.
Our communities out there may not clearly understand what genomics and genetics is all about. As we've talked about the different misconceptions that someone will say genes, genomics, and the first thing that people think about is paternity. Yet genes can actually do so much than just, finding out someone's paternity, like someone's father, or what lineage they come from. Like we have just seen in our talk today, these genes actually try to help us, and what we study here tries to help us understand how genes respond or influence the way we respond to medications.
She urged collaboration with the Ministry of Health and other bodies to turn this guidance into national policy.
As you can see that we are different people, and so we all respond differently to the medication we get. And this variation is actually important for people to appreciate that we can be suffering from the same disease, but then we will be given the same drug or the same dosage, and then everyone responds differently. Some it will work for them very well, others they may not respond to it. And so this kind of shows that they need to get, the people who do not respond well to this drug, it shows that they need to get a different medication or a higher dose or a lower dose of a given treatment. So
partners in the research include Baylor Uganda, Tasso Johns Hopkins University, and Uganda Case Western Reserve. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And in the world of sports, as Uganda marks its independence, there has been significant transformation in the sports sector. These include improvements in sports infrastructure and administration, with Uganda gaining more through the commercialization of the sports sector.
We go, Uganda, we go, no matter what we go, we go.
From the day Uganda won independence, sports has been a unifying force, and under the NRM government, the journey has entered a bold new phase. Across the country, old grounds have been refurbished and new venues are rising. Mandela National Stadium Nambole has been extensively refurbished and upgraded to modern CAF standards, with further expansion plans underway as Uganda prepares to co-host AFCON 2027. Beyond Kampala entirely, new stadia are reshaping regional sport. Construction of Hoima Stadium began in 2024 as part of a nationwide drive to bring world-class facilities to the region, and it is planned as one of Uganda's venues for AFCON 2027.
I want to appeal to my people, particularly in Bunyoro here, that we government has given you a big opportunity which we must take advantage of for purpose of us making money for ourselves. For me, I sum up by saying, long live Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, which you people might not put it. I want to request you, put it there. I sum up by saying, long live Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, long live NRM, long live Mama, long live the Minister of Education and Sports.
At the same time, the Akibwa Olympic Stadium in Lira, named for Uganda's first Olympic gold medalist, is underway, designed to host athletics and football and to catalyze economic growth in the north. Uganda has also invested in athlete development. The country's new high-altitude center gives endurance runners home at altitude. This facility helps turn raw talent into global champions. Those investments are already paying off on the world stage. Athletes like Joshua Cheptegei and Moses Kipsuro have carried Uganda's name into Olympic, World and Commonwealth finals. These are showing that better funding, facilities and coaching translate directly into medals and records. Today, Uganda's sports story is one of the transformation, refurbished stadiums, new regional arenas, dedicated training centers, and a rising generation of athletes. The combination is not only lifting performances, it is building pride, jobs, and opportunities for communities across the nation. Ngabo Amon, reporting for UBC TV.
And that's all we had time for. Once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Let's meet again at 10 o'clock. Dorothy Namyomba as well has been with us on sign language. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP, congratulates Ugandans on this glorious celebration of independence. Uganda at 63. Stretching 1,443 kilometers from Kabale, Hoima in Uganda, to Chongoliani, Tanga in Tanzania, EACOP, a 24-inch buried thermo-insulated crude oil pipeline, is the most innovative and smart pipeline system in the world. Today, the project is 72% complete, with all 1,000